right, Summer League Game 1 in the books. Got Chaz, got Grub. Make sure you smash the like button. Lots to talk about. Of course, we're going to talk about Derik Queen. We're going to talk about Jeremiah Fears, who impressed, who did not impress, and what we're going to look forward to in Game 2. Wait, once again, smash the like button. Let's do it.
First took away. Gas for this. Get your money's worth now.
Presented by the Scott Vicknair Injury Law Firm. If you've been hurt in any kind of accident, car, truck, 18-wheeler, or hurt offshore, Scott Vicknair handles it all. Give him a call at 504-500-1111 for a free consultation. Always fight for the win is always powered by 4D Energy. Of course, we're going to be seeing a lot of shout out to the chat. I saw a lot of comments already about Derik Queen. So I guess let's just start there because I do want to talk. We're going to talk a lot about Jeremiah Fears. We're going to talk about Derik Queen. Very important to understand. This is Game 1. This is first 40 minutes, but I think the criticism is fair. Chaz, we'll start with you. He put up a donut in the first half. I think he might have attempted like 2 shots. Got going a little bit better there in the second half. But what did you see from Derik Queen from your perspective today?
First, shout out to everybody in the chat joining us. I hope y'all having a good, safe summer. Also shirts for sale. You know, I get high on my own supply. You know, 10% off with Fearless 10. Make sure y'all hit that store. The link is in the description. But yeah. So with Derik Queen, I thought the game plan initially was terrible out of the gate. I've seen this movie so many times, man. At this point, I've just seen, you know, several iterations of this summer league game plan or staff. You know, I've seen, you know, Collins at the helm. I've seen JB at the helm. I've seen Brewer at the helm. Willie Green needs all the practice he can get, so maybe he should be there. But that being said, it's all the same script to me. It's poor game planning. I think Queen became a little disengaged when you posted up Yves Missi in the beginning, like 4 or 5 times in a row. Had his first maybe shot attempt or first real touch about maybe 5 minutes left in the first quarter. Didn't really, you know, do much with that. I think that was a turnover. In the second half, when you kind of saw him get more touches, you kind of saw him become just a little more comfortable, get a little more in rhythm. One of the things I was a little concerned about coming into this season is when Derik Queen isn't touching the ball, like, is he going to run through sets? Is he going to set screens? The reason why I'm not concerned is because I've seen this for years with Zion. I've seen like Zion not get a shot until like 2 minutes left in the first quarter. And in the first like 10 minutes, he kind of like, oh, well, fuck this. But once he started getting shots, he's diving on the ball. Diving on the floor for loose balls, getting rebounds, he's blocking shots. These guys, for guys like this with these questionable motors, you got to get them engaged early. You got to make them feel involved early, especially if you're giving shots to somebody. And Eve, my dog, but you giving shots to somebody who, like, why are you posting up Eve? Eve should never be posting up.
So, to that, Chaz, I think they try to get Eve early on involved as he's like the second year guy. I guess you want to say like the varsity guy, the senior on the team. To that point, though, I do think Queen did a lot of standing and wasn't very active, right? Off ball. That was one thing I was kind of looking at, Grub, is would he be active off ball? I thought they, the staff had some decent to well executed sets, especially after ATOs. I thought the first half ball movement was really nice. You saw Jeremiah Fears get involved, a lot of high pick and rolls, a lot of good pocket passes. But Grub, just specifically on Derik Queen, one of the things I was pretty disappointed in today was the effort level. I'm talking about things of sprinting back, getting in a defensive stance, very loose with the basketball, those type of things. What did you see from Queen?
That's the thing for me is, I don't, before we even got to Summer League, I said I didn't really care about the stats as much as you care about how they end up with these numbers. Like when we talk about Jeremiah Fears, I think there'll be a contrast just in the way that they approached the game. And certainly, I think Chaz is right. You want to engage people early and get them involved in the game. But at the same time, I think Derik Queen had to understand, like, this is your first opportunity to show who you are to everybody. And you had the question marks coming in, and you had the questions about, just your motor in general. So I was just surprised he didn't come out aggressively. And just even when he did get opportunities in the pick and roll, it seemed like he would fade out to beyond 3-point line where he's still not going to be a threat yet. I mean, he could take that shot. He made a 3 in this game, but it just seemed like he was more willing to flare out and stay out there rather than attack the bucket at times. And then defensively, you just have to get back. You've got to run the floor. Even if you're not getting shots, you have to run the floor, especially for a team that is in dire need of at least one of these bigs to assert themselves. Like, what you're getting from Kevon Looney, but he's going to play 20 minutes. You got another 28 minutes at the center position that you got to fill. And so you want to see both out of Yves and out of Derik Queen a bit more physicality than what we saw today.
Yeah, that was my biggest thing. There was a moment, and I don't look, it's his first game. There was a moment there, though, late in the third where he just like barely got past half court. And as a rookie, a guy who you gave up a lot for, this is your first time, your first impression. I was pretty disappointed in that. Once again, just like, I don't give a shit about missed shots, missed turnovers, like any of that stuff. I don't care. It's the summer league. Just get on the court and give me your all. Like Fears and Peavy, like these guys are fucking all over the place. I mean, Fears is standing up. He's cheering off the bench. He's grouping everybody on the court. He's a leader. I can't wait to talk about him. And then you have a guy like Peavy, who's just diving all over the floor, walling people off, and he's giving out max effort. And then you have this guy who you gave up a lot for. And look, Queen has talked a lot too. In his practice pressers and the media when you met him first. I just wanted to see a little bit more of an effort from Queen. A lot of people saying, well, he looks out of shape. He looks slow, this and that. There is one thing I want to mention though, is like out of college, I don't think Queen was this athletic guy. He plays under control. And then the second half, Chaz, you saw that there was a moment there where I think he had 6 points there in the last like 2 or 3 minutes. It was without Missi off the, it was with Missi off the floor, and I'm struggling. And Queen was creating a lot. He started getting to his spots. He was finishing at the rim. He had a nice little floater. What did you see when Derik Queen was at the 5 and Missi or Dickinson was off the floor?
I don't necessarily think it's a I think it's more about roles and the skill sets and what you're being asked to do. And again, I just don't think this coaching staff is the staff to maximize a player like Derik Queen. I kind of put this on Twitter. It's like, look, man, the reality of the situation is a guy like that needs to feel engaged, much like Zion. Like, I didn't think Queen had this incredible. That's why I was a little surprised about some of the reactions online, because I never saw Queen as this dude with some incredible motor or this flashing, speedster guy. I always saw him as a big, strong, scale dude like Sagoon or Sabonis or Jonas I'm sorry, not Jonas, or Jokic to a lesser degree. Personally, I just felt like the game plan was horrible, to quote DeJounte, who was in the building today, for better or worse. I think they could have done a lot more to get him engaged early. He could have maximized his skill set a little bit early. A guy like Yves needs to be in the dunking spot, man. Yves needs to be out of the way. Queen is a face-up player with some awesome post skills as well. Like Dickerson, they posted up Dickerson a couple of times. I'm like, what's the point of this? Like, what are we doing here? Like, I just didn't think that it was. I just thought the game plan was terrible. And in closing, I'll say this again: we can live in an ideal world where a dude like that, if he was a dude with this incredible motor, he dove on the floor, he had this incredible conditioning, he was like David West or something, he would have won the lottery early in the lottery. He would have been a top 10 pick with the skills he had. I'm choosing to live in reality with this situation. The reality of the situation is he has some questionable conditioning and questionable engagement issues going into the draft process. Reason why he failed, right? Also, you have a player like this already on the team, and you see what kind of works for him. And you see that this isn't like the coaching staff's strength as far as maximizing those guys. Derik Queen, summer league, first 2-3 possessions, put the ball in his hands. Get him going, get him engaged, put him in a post, let him face up, let him get to the free throw line. Got to the free throw line quite a bit too. Also, shout out to him and Fears for that. But you got to get these dudes engaged. You got to feed them early. This dude ain't no scrub. It's like, it's disrespectful. Shout out to Yves again. But it's disrespectful posting up Yves Missi 4 or 5 times in the first quarter. It's disrespectful, bro. It's disrespectful.
I just think you're gonna lean on Yves more. I mean, look, we could talk game plan. Now, I don't think in a summer league game that's gonna really, to me, like that's not gonna really, you're not gonna hang your hat on a game plan, because in retrospect, like you don't really know what you got, right? I think they've been together for a week now, so there's pros and cons to that. I do wish they would have involved Queen more, but when you saw him involved more there in the second half, Grub, he did show some promise offensively, but still, once again, I know he wasn't a high motor guy, but I still wish there was more just energy or effort. There was that moment there,
Yeah.
Grub. I want you to talk about this. It's more the mental aspect. And once again, I know he's young, he's a rookie, he's 20 years old. You clearly see he's going through it. He makes a tough bucket. I think it's his fourth point of the game. And he grabs the basketball and just starts looking up to the ceiling and starts backpedaling instead of just dropping the ball. So what is that? It's now a second delay of game. It's a technical foul. And then you just gave up a point. And so it's those little things, Grub, where he's going to have to make those adjustments of stop really, getting your feelings. You're going to struggle. That's okay. You need to be okay with that, but it needs to be next play kind of mentality.
Yeah. Because he's not going to ever be the first option, not this season. So when in the court, is he going to be the guy that the offense goes through? If it's him and Fears playing together, it's still Fears trying to run the offense. He's going to get chances as a secondary playmaker and those types of things, but the offense isn't going to run through him. So he's got to get used to doing the little things. This is how rookies stay on the court. If you're not the face of the franchise coming in as a rookie, you got to fight for your shots. And you got to make that stuff happen. And then it just looked, again, the physicality. There were certain things, smaller players out muscling him when he went up for baskets. You know what I'm saying? Like there were a couple of attempted dunks where he just didn't get up off the floor well. And again, I'm not going to put all of this on one game, but just there wasn't an explosion from him, from his ability to get up off the floor quickly. That second jump wasn't looking great. He may have just been rusty. And it's not a post players. Summer League is not a feature for post players. But I think the difficulty is like if we go compare him to Zion, is the one thing that makes them completely different is Zion is an elite, superior athlete. And so if you don't give him shots, Zion can make up a whole bunch of that in one stretch by getting 5-6 buckets in a row, getting to the rim and doing things that Queen physically can't do yet. So I think for Queen, he's going to have to assert himself more than even a Zion when you're on the court, because he is taller, but not as good of a jumper, not as physically able to pound defenders in the low post. So I think, he's got to be more assertive in getting his space early and getting down the floor quickly, like running down the floor, beating your opponent and clearing that space and running to the basket. And then in defensive transition, this team got beat in the paint again, and that's a big problem for this organization. And when you're relying on young bigs, whether it's Carlo, whether it's Yves, whether it's whether it's Derik Queen, those guys are going to have to play defense better, and part of that's just going to have to be running the floor.
So 5 joined the show, and I'm glad you mentioned that. Oh my gosh, we must have given up 5 just 2-on-0, 1-0, 3-on-0 layups. Like the transition was just terrible. But look, that shit's gonna get once again, it's Summer League. Like I understand these guys. Once you see Summer League progress, they will get better. Jarrett, welcome to the show. We're talking about Derik Queen, and then we'll get to Jeremiah Fears. So just real quick, your overall thoughts on Queen, first and second half performances. Obviously got to go in there in the second half, finish with a double-double, but you worry about the motor. There's a lot of different things we talked about, but just overall thoughts on Queen.
Yeah, super. Let's say just not pleased in the effort, right? I just thought a guy. You ever had like your family come watch you play, right? Like you were young, you're like, hey, come watch me play. They saw you playing in the backyard, like they've been working with you a little bit. Like, yeah, come watch me play. You go out and play, and you put out a dud. This is what that felt like. This is what that like. Oh, we were kind of excited about, this guy that they put, a lot of value into. You spend next year's pick on this guy. And basketball isn't fast food, so you can't really say like I got my return on my investment day one, but it just looked lackluster. Like I just wasn't pleased with his effort. Like you could have went 0 for 20 and that wouldn't have bothered me, but your effort, like, oh, you only going to run when it's advantageous for you. Oh, you think you're the star. All right. No, you're not. Even when you play with Zion or when you play with Trey, you're going to be the second, third, that's not even second, probably third, fourth, fifth option. And yet you're going to have to do the little things. If you're not doing the little things now, it's going to be it's going to be a tough turnaround for you. It's going to be a tough adjustment for you if you don't pick that up now. So really wasn't pleased at that, but the skill level is there. You can see that, but yo, can you put forth a little bit more effort into this?
Yeah, and I completely agree with you, Jared, and that's what we've kind of been saying. And look, once again, game one, let's see what he can do game two, right? Let's see. All right, let's watch the film. Where can I get better? Where can my effort level be? So on and so forth. Once again, don't care about missed shots, don't care about turnovers, whatever it may be. I do care about effort and hustle, and I would like to see that moving forward into game two. Now, Chaz, let's talk about more of a brighter spot. Jeremiah Fears. 350 people in here. Make sure you smash the like button. Once again, hit the bell notification when we go live. We go live mostly after every single game, including in summer. Chaz, Jeremiah Fears. Whew. I like him. I like him a lot. I'm okay with saying that. I really do. I think he's a crafty point guard. I think he's, no pun intended, fearless. I like his leadership values. I saw a lot of different things on the court today that I liked about him. What did you like about Jeremiah Fears' performance in his first performance in a Pelicans uniform?
Well, the first thing I liked about him was these shirts. Fearless 10 on sale. The link is in the description. I'm pinning it in the comments. 10% off Summer League sale. Fearless 10, all caps. But that aside, I like his game readiness. I like how he was vocal on both sides of the ball. He wasn't afraid to talk and make his voice heard. Plays with a lot of maturity. He's very strong going to the rim. That's something that always impresses me when I'm because he's not the most explosive athlete, but he knows how to drop his shoulder into the defender's chest and create a little room for himself. His finishing at the rim was a little bit better today as well. Had quite a few impressive passes. One I thought that was really impressive, but it ultimately ended up being a turnover. But
no look on the baseline.
Yeah, the vision was there. When something like that happens, I'm blaming it on the wide receiver. So hey man, work on your game. But so I thought he was a quality, hit a pull-up three. I was happy about that. Got to get better at the free throw line, of course, Queen as well. But I was just generally happy with what I saw from him today. I also tend to think that Summer League is a rim running big and guard, like point guards thing. You know what I'm saying? If you can just run and dunk and block shots, or if you can handle the ball effectively and get to the rim, you're gonna have a hell of a Summer League. So I think he's starting off absolutely on the right path.
So gets the line six free throw attempts tonight. Grub, obviously we're going to talk about what we like from Fears, but me and you talked about this before. Grub, 7 turnovers today as well.
Yeah, and I mean that was the biggest concern for him coming in. Just averaged just under 4 turnovers a game last year in college. So you knew, and I think what you saw is, and the commentators talked about it too, is that he just doesn't change speeds. And that's the big part for any point guard, is to learn when to play fast, when to slow it up, when to accelerate, when to slow, all those changing gears. And right now he plays every possession at full speed. And he just needs to bring that back a little bit, start waiting for his teammates, understanding that it's going to take them a second to hold those screens and roll to the bucket. But I like, the biggest thing that I wanted to see is you wanted a point guard who controlled the team. And they have not had that since Rondo left. And it seemed like Fears was embracing the role of, this is my offense. And he took his shots. He was aggressive in getting up 12 shots. I think he needed to do that. You saw him hit that pull-up 3 from a good 4 feet from behind the line. So, and his form looked good. And again, he made 5 out of his 6 free throws, so we knew he could shoot it from the line. So I thought he was poised. It's just he's got to learn things, and that's the point guard's job. It's a hard job to learn in the NBA. But for a kid who, is 18, just to see him out there and not look like he was miscast, to not look like the moment was too big, I thought that was huge. Just in seeing that, he looked like he's supposed to be there. And for a kid making his debut at that position, it didn't look too big for him. Pause.
Yeah. Jared, go ahead.
I always thought Fears was a good player, but to see it now is almost like, okay, I've been personally vindicated by the way he's been playing, or the way he played today. You saw the thought process. I thought that was key, where he wanted to go with the ball. Sometimes I think he got out of sorts, just probably the emotion of the game. It's your first NBA game, right? So you're playing ultra fast. So I think a lot of the turnovers were there, but he had good thoughts, right? Open player, he's trying to feed them, lay off the no looks, or faux no looks that you're trying to throw where you see it and then you look away to throw it. Like you don't have to do that. Just make the right play and kind of move on. And I think with time on task, I mean, they've been practicing together, what,
a week,
3 to 5 days, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, like it's going to take a minute to catch a rhythm. And you look at the Timberwolves, right? They had like 5 to 6 players that have played in NBA games. Yeah, you're probably going to get dominated in a sense. So I like what I saw from Fears.
And I agree with what Chaz had to say. There are a couple moments where guys weren't ready. I didn't think the turnover was on Fears, right? Like the guys weren't ready. Like when Fears is going downhill, like you need to be ready at all times to receive a pass because you never knew. Because I thought there was also a moment when Queen had a nice little behind the back pass to, I think it was Dickinson, but there was a moment when Queen caught high post and Missi was like unsure of himself and just kind of it was a weird like it was just a weird pass that he wasn't ready for it. And he like had to bobble it. If he catches it clean, it's an easy layup. Chaz, let's talk about Missi a little bit. Very high from just looking at the game. He definitely looks bigger. He looks stronger. Not to say that he should he still needs to get stronger. I love his activity. The free throws obviously today were pretty rough, but overall, what did you think of Missi? He goes 5 of 15 from the field, 3 of 9 from the free throw line, but had 14 rebounds, 13 points.
I think the coaching staff did him a disservice as well. Put too much dip on his chip. It's one of those things where a guy like that, they want to come in and show off the things they've been working on in the off season. He's been working with what's the guy name? Guard Whisper. I forget his name. He worked with that guy that Nikhil was working with. Fire that dude, Eve. Fire that dude. But that being said, to me, Eve is a below the rim big. Like it's not like this super running, jumping guy. I think summer league is not necessarily catered toward a player like that. That's why I didn't really need to see him. I didn't need to see Yves Missi in summer league. I just don't think that it's catered for someone like that. To me, summer league is a go get it on your own type league, and I don't think they did Yves any service posting them up 4 and 5 times. Like what my thing is this: you practice how you play, right? And to go back to that classic meme, it's like, son, like you practice that shot. Is that really a game situation? Are we gonna find ourselves in real life game situations where the rounds are live? You saying, yo, we need a bucket. Yves in the post. I don't want Yves in the post with JJ Barrera guarding them. I just don't want that to happen.
What would you like? Where would you like Yves?
I want Yves in the dunker spot, the ball in Queen hands, facing up. Or Yves, just get out the way, brother. Just stay out the way, brother. Your job is to run, dunk, and catch lives and rebound and block shots. Like maximize what this guy does well. You putting him in a disadvantageous situation. And I've kind of seen this. Jackson Hayes wasn't the same guy, of course, but it's like, bro, that's not what he does. That's not who he is. That's not what he's going to be. What are you instructing him to do? Like that. That's not
method to the madness.
I think all their methods have failed. They ain't got no benefit.
This is what I say.
Like
this is what I say. You got film today to show Yves Missi what he cannot keep doing. Because this is a persistent problem for him last year, making himself a guy who's 6'11", making himself 6'8". You know what I'm saying? He does that consistently. He makes himself small on offensive rebounds. He makes himself small on his moves. You saw when he turns inside and drops his shoulder, he stays low. He does not extend. So you have this now to show this boy who probably thinks, I come back with all these moves. I've been working on this stuff. And now I got it on film. I don't care what you did in practice in the open runs. I don't care. These are guys who these are not going to be starters. None of these guys are going to be starters that you just played against today. You may play against that French kid because he looks like he's ready to play, Berger, but these are not starters. And you started 70 games last year in the NBA. If you can't get off your shot in those situations, then like you said, get your ass in the dunker spot, pick and elevate and on your screens and finish that way. If you don't understand, that's what your job is as the fifth man. If you didn't get that lesson today, you're not going to get it. Because like you said, during the whole point of Summer League is not to show what you learned in the offseason. It's to showcase what you already do well. You should be sticking to what you do well. Don't expose the bad parts of your game because you're trying to show the coaches I take instruction. I do what you asked me to do. So I think Yves on his own too, because nobody told him to take that pick and pop 15-footer that missed everything. I know the coaches didn't tell him to take that shot. So I think, I think this was a lesson for him to go back in, and you see the film and it's like, we can't have you doing this. You've got to do less. You can do more with less.
And
Sorry, go ahead, Chaz.
I just want to inject this small part, right? Because I'm not isolating anyone on the staff whatsoever. I'm just speaking about them as how they work as in a conjunction. Because I joke all the time that the Pelicans are BYOB, bring your own bag. If all of these players are supposed to have it all figured out by the time they get here already, why I need these coaches? Like, why I need this staff? What are you maximizing with these guys? What are you having them lean into as far as good practices? And it's not just this summer league. I've seen it several years in a row at this point. I've seen it during the regular season. I've seen it during the postseason. And to me, it's more alarming than anything because you're wasting developmental minutes. You're wasting developmental time. Like you're wasting years. And now we're going to be in year 3. We're like, well, I don't really know. Maybe he's better at a 4 than a 5. I don't really know. That's why you really, in my opinion, you should have got the Willie Green and company, because I don't think Willie Green's a lone wolf. Should got the Willie Green and company element a little bit out of the building, or brought in a new head voice so you can kind of maximize what these guys do as well. But we don't have time to keep playing these games, man. Like let's start development, getting into our developmental system a little bit better and developing these young guys.
I thought there was nice moments, Jared, with the high pick and roll with Missi, and there was some moments where Fears and Missi had 2-man, and they missed out on alley-oop opportunities and things of that nature. What did you, I guess, see from Yves today, and more to what Chaz and Grubb have said?
Yeah, I mean, I like the effort, dog. I'm not gonna put down on somebody that's trying to better their game and round it out. Like eventually, yeah, you might need that. But I think Chaz is on to something. Like there's a true disconnect between what the coaching staff wants or should want and what people practice in the summer. That's like there's a true disconnect from what should be happening. You can tell Yves, although he missed everything, he had been practicing that jumper. You don't feel confident unless you've been practicing that jumper from a guy that wouldn't have taken that shot 4 or 5 months ago. He took it today in a real basketball game. He had been practicing it. My opinion is the coaching staff and whoever is training him are not communicating. That's the issue. Like there needs to be a true plan. Remember when that you brought up Jackson Hayes, Chaz. Remember that first, it might have been Jackson Hayes' first year, his rookie season. And after the exit interview, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna work on like my handle and my 3-point shot. And we were like, what the who the fuck told you that? Why would you be working on that? You're not going to be doing that. And I would want, like, I'm mad we didn't get exit interviews this season because we would love to have known what they told Yves to work on in the summer. So I'm not blaming the player development coaches because you can see some of the guys really like those guys like Brandon and others. But there seems to be a true message, like whoever's leading that message is not disseminating down.
You bring up a really good point, Jared, because I've actually been part of this as a coach. It's very important that the message of how a system plays and how that whatever trainer train, it has to be one and the same, right? Because each trainer wants to be like, well, you got to work on this, and we don't have that in our offense, right? And so that doesn't work. And so, like, I completely agree with what you're saying. There's some type of disconnect there where it's like, oh man, I don't need you working on that. I need you working on catching, finishing at the rim, right? How many times today, Grubb, did we see Missi get blocked? To me, that was worse. I still thought Missi was fine. I don't really need to see him. He's an NBA guy. Like, there is no doubt about it. I love his effort. I love that he wants to get better all the time. Today, though, did worry me a little bit about how much he got. I would say he might have gotten blocked 3 or 4 times by a rookie. Like, that kind of scares me a little bit.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah, go ahead.
like you said. It's been a problem for him though. I think he was probably one of the most blocked players in the league last year, I would imagine, particularly at that center position. So it's just like he continues to just make himself small in those situations. And he's not a vertically explosive athlete. Like he doesn't jump off of 2 feet and go straight up really quick. When he runs, he gets he gets some good elevation then. But in the half court, he just doesn't elevate really quickly. And it seems like you can just watch the gears move in his mind when you throw the ball into him in the post. You can see he's thinking, gather, step, turn. And it's just like it slows down. You can watch the defense just figure him out. So it's like if you're not doing it quickly, you know what I'm saying, whatever you're getting into, if you can't do it immediately on offense, then you don't need to do it. Like if you catch the ball, it should be turn and dunk immediately. It should be go over the shoulder and drop the little baby hook immediately. It should be, those are the only things. Or kick it right back out. If you don't have the score, kick it right back out and repost or move and go set a screen. And I think that's the only thing. And I think Yves will do it though. So like you said, it's on coaching to come out and say, this is our plan for you. Not just how do you get better as a basketball player, but here for the New Orleans Pelicans, your responsibilities are. So work on those things this offseason. And I thought for Yves, that was the most obvious thing was for him to just work on being effective in the pick and roll in the dunker spot. If you can do those 2 things for your 20 plus minutes a night, he's got nothing to worry about. He will average 14 and 10 every night if he just finishes that way.
And look, Rob, there's actually 2 instances in that game today where there was just, it was no, like, as you said, spin turn. It was the first possession ATO, 5 minutes. Queen skips it to Missi, like who's in like kind of the dunker spot. He fake hands off, turns, pivots, pump fake, 1 dribble layup. And then the second one was his double cross at the top of the key, double cross, gets to his left hand, beautiful finish. Those were just quick, not thinking, just playing off of like how I'm being defended or I have momentum or so on and so forth. So I thought those were a couple of good things I did like to see. One thing before I get to Chaz, I do want to say this, Loney 504, appreciate your comment. Yes, it did look bad today. It is one summer league, but we are just going off the one summer league game that we watch. We understand there's another game on Saturday. There's gonna be another game on Monday, but we are strictly talking about today and how the players and team looked. And there are obviously things, of course, it's one summer league game. Who cares? They're gonna get better next game. I think Queen will be a lot better, but just today, what we're just kind of grading how the team looked just today. Chaz, any thoughts on the post game or the post work with Yves and maybe getting blocked a little bit more than you wanted, or do you want to get to Peavy?
Man, I wasn't gonna mention it, but since you brought it up, I don't think Yves should be working with Greg Monroe at all. I think Yves should be working with guys like JaVale McGee. Not that he's available, but screen, run and dunk. Screen, run and dunk. Screen, run and dunk. You're never going to get enough opportunities in a post to make this worthwhile, period. And that's why, to me, sometimes it's the messenger. Sometimes it's the messenger more than a message, because I'm sure Willie Green, for years he's emphasized, Brandon, we need you to shoot some more threes, man. We need you to take that a little more serious. And the message just didn't resonate for whatever reason. With Yves, while he's still young and moldable guy, hasn't played basketball in a very long time, I think these are the critical formative years of his development, and where you need to change the messenger. Shout out to Greg Monroe. Greg Monroe wasn't no all-star, no shit like that. Like, shout out to Greg Monroe. Not that that's everything, because CJ McCollum wasn't an all-star. But we can't, I'm not gonna act like, well, he making major strides last season, or look at him from now. It's like, no, I never thought that made sense. I never thought that coaching assignment made sense to me, because that's just not who he is. I mean, look at this. 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 Sans Yves, pack of stupid motherfuckers. Come on, man. Let's not do this. But we can pivot to Peavy. Shout out to my dog Micah Peavy, aka True Life, in the building. Shout out to True Life, man. But I thought Peavy was as advertised, man. One thing I really like about Peavy, of course, he's an older player, but very strong player physically. I think he had how many rebounds did he have? Like
7.
7 rebounds, and a few of those, quite a few of those were defensive. I really like what I saw. Mature player, can play fast. I watched a lot of film on him prior to this game that kind of had me, excited to see what he could do. in transition. Like I saw this dude. Now again, he's about 4 years older than a lot of these guys. But I saw this dude in transition. There was a trailing player. He stopped, put his shoulder into the player's chest. The dude just flew back. And I think he ended up dunking the ball. I was like, yo, this dude is physically just a monster out there. And he can shoot the three a little bit as well. So I think he has a bit more to his offensive game than we've seen. But the person who come into the league knowing their role, and I'm excited about seeing him.
Also had 7 personal fouls today. I always love seeing those stats. He used those fouls. Yeah. He had 7. So Jared will go Jared then Grubb. But one thing that Chaz mentioned, Jared, 7 rebounds, but a guy just fills up the box score. 5 of 9 from the field, 1 of 2 from deep, 7 rebounds, 2 steals, 11 points. Like just a guy that like he's just gonna fill up the box score whenever that's exactly what he did at Georgetown. What'd you like from him?
This might sound. I know I had said Paolo.
I don't know if you might have been disconnected, Jarrett.
I'm back.
You're muted for sure. Oh, you're not saying you're muted. So Grubb, you go ahead. I'm
not muted.
I can hear him.
Is it me?
It might be you.
Oh, maybe it's me. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're the problem. I know I said Paolo, a couple weeks ago when they drafted him, like that was the guy that kind of popped out. But I have a different one. This one makes a lot more sense. He's the hood version of Josh Hart. And
I can see that. I really see that. Yeah.
Like super strong with the ball. He get in transition. He's trying to score. He's not trying to do nothing else. He knows his role. He doesn't get outside of that. He's trying to guard 1 through 4 if possible. He don't mind switching. He'll help side, get in the lanes, but like his objective is mess up the game, muddy it up, because he'd rather play fast and not really think about anything. But Josh Hart is the version of the Pelicans, and they've always missed a guy like that.
This is someone I also saw when watching his film. My bad, Grubb. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, you can see that. I think he has a little tighter handle than Josh had coming in. Sure. But I think that the thing that I really liked about him was, like you said, I like when I see a guard get fouls the way Peavy got fouls. When you see, like, it's one thing to see, like when Carlo last year was racking up 10, 11, 12 personal fouls. It's because he just was out of position and was just reaching for everything. But Peavy is trying to learn how they're going to call the NBA game as a defender. What kind of physicality can I put on the ball handler? What can I do when the guy's cutting? What can I do when I'm chasing? He's trying to figure that out. And I think that's, like you said, he didn't do anything that wasn't in his wheelhouse. He took the shots he was supposed to take. He only had 2 turnovers in 20 plus minutes. So to me, that was a good thing too. He moved the basketball when it was supposed to move. He just looked like he belonged. And at 23, that's what he's supposed to do. But great. Like you did exactly what you're supposed to do in your first game. You showed everything, every reason that you got picked, every reason that they were happy to have you. And y'all talked about it in the chat that this is one of those things if you're looking for down the line. And I mentioned it with Sion James when I talked about the Pelicans looking at him. If you're looking eventually to replace your Herb Jones, then you got to find somebody who can do all those little things on both ends of the floor. And it looks like Peavy can do things on both ends of the floor that make you a better basketball team.
I think I'm back. Can y'all hear me? Good.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you, Jared. I apologize, bro. That's my bad. I'll hit the chest right there. Double take, whatever yes, we know it's your bad. Anybody else that stood out to you? I mean, obviously, Quinones had 20 points, 5 of 8 from deep.
How can you not root for somebody named Lester, man?
Shout out
we
Lester.
ain't got a lot of Lesters out here anymore.
Shout out Lester. Let's see.
We've had Lesters 2 years back to back.
We have. A lot of people are asking about Antonio Reeves. So what we've learned
he
from
played well.
Yeah. He's just a solid player, Chaz. I mean, he goes 5 of 8 from the field. 5 of 9 from the field, 10 points. Like, do you? Let me ask you this: do you see them re-signing him back to a 2-way?
I think it's very possible, considering
you do.
Yeah, because I don't think Hunter Dickinson. I think that's a relationship thing. The Virginia connection, Michigan connection. I think he'll play himself off the court soon enough. Not that I want him to do that. I want him to succeed, but I just don't think And Trey Alexander, that's one I just don't get. I don't understand that at all. But
Yeah,
not, you know, he's a G League rookie of the year, you know what I'm saying? But I just the pace in which he plays with and how slow his jumper is, I just don't understand it. I think Eve is just too efficient. Floater still crisp. Eve just is a professional player to me. He's just a professional player. You know, he doesn't play outside of his wheelhouse. He does what he needs to do. And I hope that Antonio Reeves secures one of those two-way contracts.
Wouldn't you like to see Reeves and Peavy play together more? Like to see the two of them work off of each other? Because I really think Reeves is better without the basketball than a lot of these guys on this team. I think everybody else is pretty ball dominant. But I think if Fears, Reeves, and Peavy would be a really interesting wing group to see in this summer league. Because I think having those guys have somebody who could handle the basketball and make the defense collapse a little bit, while both of them are guys who can either catch it and shoot it or put it down if you close out on them. I think I would really like to see the three of them get an opportunity to play together.
Who was your, let me ask this, Jared, who was your favorite combo that you saw on the court today? Like, who was your favorite, I wouldn't say 1-2, but who were your favorite two together on the court today?
Favorite two. I know it's probably PB. I know he's involved. Let's go PV and Fears. I think it adds a little value when you got two. It seems like they both want to be involved, right? Like when you got somebody else that wants to guard, it seems like an easier way to play basketball. Like the way I want to play, he wants to play the exact same way. We want to get out and run. Usually fucks up when you got somebody like Queen that doesn't want to play that way, right? It gets in the way. But that two combo probably was my favorite.
I liked surprised I actually liked the Fears Missi 2-man game. There was a moment there, I think early in the first, hit him with a nice pocket pass. Like Fears just, you know, he can navigate a pick and roll. But then there was a moment where Fears came off a Missi screen. They haven't obviously played together. And so he's tried snaking back, but then Missi like ran into him and it was all messed up. And then there was a moment there in the fourth quarter where I think Missi got called for an illegal screen, but he cleared out space and Fears got to the left hand. Yeah. And it was a wide open layup, but they called like some type of moving screen. By the way, the referees were just atrocious today, including their uniforms. It was awful, but that's just neither here nor there. Grub, who are your favorite two today?
I mean, you know, since Fears and Missi, Fears is and PV is taken. I think I think I would just probably echo Fears and PV. I just like that they came in and were ready to play. I'm really impressed by that kid at 18. I just didn't think that he was going to take command the way he did. And I think both of them came out from the beginning and like it wasn't perfect. But they were able to put spurts together offensively where the Pelicans got out in the run. Like you said, there were some really nice passes. I think that the two of them on a second unit, you can start to envision how it might come together. You know what I mean? How the pieces might start to fit in a second unit for both of those guys. And I think that's the thing that was really exciting today is like you don't have to have a bunch of imagination to see some of these guys being part of the rotation. Certainly there's enough for all of them to work on. But those two, besides Antonio Reeves, who had his NBA exposure already, but those two, they looked the most ready to play. And I think that for a first summer league game, that's really impressive.
Chaz, I think I'm going to know your answer. Who has to impress or who has to improve game two the most?
The coaching staff.
Coach staff, Jarrett. Who has to impress the most or improve the most?
Queen. Yeah.
Grub.
Yes, it's Queen. He just got to show, like, just come out there with the aggression that you and show people. Again, I don't think any of us, and we've all said the same thing. We don't care if he misses half his shots. We don't care if he misses 80% of his shots. What shots are you taking? Are you attacking the defense? Are you letting people know that you're on the court? And there were just times today when you didn't know he was on the court, and that just can't happen for a guy that you are betting this much on.
I can confirm that Marvin Bagley is headed back to the Wizards. I can confirm it. Justin
Bagley.
Let me ask this to y'all. Like as we've watched the West continue to get taller, you know, with Olynyk now joining San Antonio and what we saw today, and knowing that the 4-man rotation at the power forward and center position is still small, is still inexperienced. How comfortable in the West do y'all feel about the Pelicans front court?
That's a good question. Let me see what the rebounds were. I mean, it actually out-rebounded Minnesota, but to your point, though, I wasn't impressed with the bigs today. They got to get – I mean, I keep saying this. I think Looney's going to be day one starter. I really do. That's just my opinion, but I think you're going to need somebody else.
See, Justin, the oxymoron about this all, right? The Pelicans are going to have to send everybody to the rim or to the boards, right? Right? They're going to have to send
and
everybody.
Zion's known for leaking out. So,
but that's the thing, right? You're not going to be able to play fast that way, which is going to force Willie Green to play offense. Like, that is the thing that you're not tall enough to rebound. You're not strong enough to rebound. So you have to gang rebound. The way you want to play is fast. So you can't get out in transition, which is forcing you to play offense and strategically offense you're not good at. This is going to go bad very quickly. Like, all of your strengths are null and void because you can't rebound.
so
I would
how
just
can they,
need. I'm
how
sorry.
can they fix that? I want to say how they fix that problem.
I would need to know who the second. If they're going to be running the two big lineup, which I really think is a question mark at this point, I would need to know who. That's why I kept saying like who's going to be the power forward in this, because I think it takes a couple of guys out of the equation. I don't know what Poole's rebounding numbers are, but I think
four
Yeah, you can't
rebounds a
expect
game.
Jordan play.
yeah, I
Remember,
think
last year we was talking about DeJounte was going to be the leading rebounder for the team, and on a lot of nights he was.
I think you can ask for a little bit more, of course, from a Zion, from a Trey. Trey did make strides rebounding. Zion, when he's engaged, can get you about 7-8 rebounds a night. Trey, I think he had a couple 7-8 rebound games before going down with injury. I think personally, I think there's still a hole at that forward position, that starting forward position. I think right now, even your backup on paper would be Queen. So your backup is Carlo. So you still need a starting caliber 4 right now, junkyard dog rebound type guy. I think it's a tall order to ask for more rebounding from Herb at this point. Trey kind of made some strides. We've seen Zion do it. That's not really Poole's game. And Yves, I think he's still going to struggle on the boards a little bit, at least on the defensive boards. He has some offensive boards today as well. And Looney, he does what he does. But I still think you're going to need a starting caliber 4 most nights.
Yeah.
Precious Achiuwa.
Just like Jared said, I mean, if you want to run, the only things you can do is either create a bunch of turnovers or be really good at defensive rebounding. And like, even if they get the defensive boards, who's throwing the outlet? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's throwing the outlet? Because Zion is not an outlet thrower. Trey is not an outlet passer. You know what I'm saying? So who's throwing the outlet? Like, so the fast break is so dependent on who gets the rebound. And that is when you think about this team, and Chaz has brought up the point plenty of times, and you can look at, like, I think last year you take the top 15 offenses, and we've talked about how important offense is. Of the 50-win teams, every last one of them finished in the top 15 in offense. Of the top 4, the teams that won at least 45 games, 3 out of the 4 finished in the top 15 in offense, and the 4th finished 16. So if the Pelicans want to win 45 plus games, which is, folks, we see it in the chat that people will say this is a 45-win team, you got to be top 15 in the league in offense. And this was the worst offense in the NBA. And over the 4 years that Willie Green has been the coach, they have been behind the league average in offensive rating every year. So, like, that part of it, even if they get to mediocre defensively, there have to be major concerns that this team is going to be better offensively.
So I thought about this. I looked up Sadiq Bey's actual. Like, it's funny. I'm actually looking at Sadiq Bey's stats right now. I mean, he's not this he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. His career average is 3.8 rebounds a game. So like, he's not, he's not like the Dennis Rodman on the glass here. So no, like I see your thought. It's just like I actually thought about Bey, and I was like, what does he look like? And so yeah, there's obviously once again, Summer League, it's game 1, but there are question marks, and I'm kind of interested to see how this team rebounds Saturday. Do y'all want to continue? Do y'all have anything else? I got to run, but if y'all want to continue, all
No.
good. Okay. So we're kind of up in the air. I don't know if we'll be live Saturday. We'll definitely be live Sunday night. Got to talk to the guys about Saturday night availability. They play again 7:30 Saturday night. Do y'all know who it's against? Like, I want to say it's
Is it the Lakers?
the Lakers. I want to say it might be the Lakers.
Because it's either the Lakers or the Clippers, isn't it? I'm sure.
One of those. So appreciate everybody joining the show. Make sure you smash the like button. And we will talk to y'all definitely Sunday night, but maybe Saturday as well. And once again, hit the bell notification. Appreciate all the sponsors. Appreciate all the chats. Appreciate all the members. We'll holler at y'all later.
Peace.
Lakers.
I hope